Hello, beautiful family. I have another important update for you as far as what's going on energetically with activations for the whole of humanity. So, mom and dad have activated the fourth heart. It happened on 30th of December. It is still part of the Super God portal. It's one of the, I've told you before, it's going to be many activations, many more level ups to this portal that started about a month ago, something like that. I'm still waiting the main part of it, so to say. I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but I'm very eagerly expecting it. So this was one of the steps of it, and it is a huge part. Now, if you look back, it was about a year ago that started working on the right heart for humanity, because their right heart was basically completely shut off. Now you do have two hearts. You have a masculine and a feminine heart, and of course, your heart chakra that's in the middle. That's different. And we've been working on the balance of those two hearts during basically the whole more than a year now, and you can feel that in yourself. It's working out the masculine and feminine energies, or the light and the dark. It works both ways. And recently there have been lots of activations for the left heart, especially. This has been the focus with the Super God portal, and it was a few days before December 30th that they were strongly focusing on the bridge between the two hearts, because basically there was like a block on it, so to say. And so after this was released, the two hearts are now coming into the balance, and the balance of the two hearts represents your third heart, and your third heart is basically a door, in a sense, into the right heart. And what the right heart is hiding is the seed of your soul. So that's why that has been speaking on in his videos about the heart, the fourth heart, and the seed. You have to listen closely to what he shares in his videos, because it's all codes, and you have to listen to it with your heart, because otherwise you're just not gonna get it. And so with this activation, what is happening basically, and this is why the Schumann appears to be so, quiet during those days, is because mom and dad have started working through humanity in a completely new way. We have never experienced something like this. It's a very unique and very beautiful activation, and it's gonna help you a lot to anchor in who you truly are, to be anchored in your center, to be balanced in your masculine, your feminine, which means being balanced in yourself. That's why that always jokes, boy girl, girl boy. It's the same thing. You're both when you are always in the balance. So it's kind of like a seed opens up from the center of your third heart, in a sense, and this is the seed that is you. This is the seed that has all the answers that you're seeking of. And many of you are feeling this activation and are, following your guidance. A big push in regards to the lessons is following your own guidance, knowing what you're being guided to do, and being in your strength, having this balance in love and power, in a sense. It's not power, but being loving, but at the same time being in your strength. So not letting other people take you down because you're just too loving. It happens. So everything is coming into balance. Your lessons are coming into balance. And with this activation that we are in now, you just have to let the seed grow. And of course, you have to nurture it. Every seed needs water, needs some sunshine. Every plant needs that to grow, to sprout. and it's gonna be the same way. So this also means your tests are gonna be different, because every lesson gets you higher up on the scale of evolution or expansion, and with each breakthrough that you make, the lessons are gonna get a bit different, because we are in the, well, Lucifer experiment, you're still in it until you see your way out of it. And the way out of it is finding the balance, because you still have to pass your classes, so to say. You have to pass your exams, and that's part of it. It's also, of course, part of bringing love and truth back to earth, and living your higher self, your true potential, and everything that this includes. So my suggestion is just allow it to open up and work on nurturing it. And nurturing always requires very, very delicate balance. And I like to touch on this because the balance that you're reaching is very delicate in this sense. It is a very thin line, and you have to feel it in yourself, in your center, where the balance is. The scale with the heart and the feather, this is what you're mastering in a sense. So I was feeling, for some of the beings, in case that you need some harder lessons, it's gonna be lessons that are gonna shift your perspective completely. Because if you are in some kind of ego, let's say, in those moments, it's basically because you're not in balance, because you are seeing something strictly from, let's say, one perspective. And yesterday the angels told me, every story can be told 1,000 different ways. So feel into it, it's gonna resonate with many things. But yeah, as far as the lessons, if you're unable to see a different perspective, an experience is gonna, hit you, that's gonna flip your perspective completely. In a sense, it's kind of like you're looking at a certain situation only from one heart, which means from one part of you, and you have to see it from the other side. You have to see it from, the coin from both sides, and that's how you find the middle. That's how you find the center. And the center, you have to feel it in yourself. It's not about anyone telling you. You have to find that center in you. That's part of your mastery. So I'm feeling lots of shifts like this are gonna come, and they come in very beautiful ways as well. Mom and dad don't. It is the Jermaine that uses the whip. Sorry, Jermaine. Mom and dad prefer, whatever way it is that you need. That's the bottom line of it. So I was feeling there was gonna be a lot of that, and what this also entails is, you're gonna see a lot more of peace and compassion and cooperation and understanding among people, because they are opening up in this sense to the stories of others. It's not only strictly that's my story and that's how it is. They're opening up to hear the stories of others and to have compassions for their side of the experience. But always, at the end, there's many veils of illusion, and ultimately there's only one truth. But you can feel this truth in many different ways, and it comes back to the inner teachings, if I call it so, of Mother and Father, of our creators, of God, of our soul parents. That's who they are. So you're gonna start, if you're following this, you're gonna start feeling a lot of more inner strength, a lot more English words, confidence in yourself, in your heart, in your feeling, trusting more your guidance. um, finding better ways of communicating with people, kind of, when before you're maybe like kind of hitting arguments in some way, all of this is gonna start dissolving. And here it's gonna be a lot easier to find the common ground. There's, other things, other pushes that are gonna come after this, but in this sense, establishing this peace between, among humanity is essential. And this is kind of what we are working on in those moments. And also, if you felt the energy of Christmas and New Year this year, I've been following it, the last several years, and it was completely different this year. I've never felt such peace before. The people weren't kind of like going crazy as much as they used before. There was a lot more of peace and like general connection between people, and also kind of like not giving a fuck about some holiday that's just making you spend um, money and be more in slavery. People are waking up a lot about this a lot, even though they might be still asleep or in 3D, but they are changing their ways of doing things little by little. They are starting to see through in their own way, in their own experience. And so with this activation of the fourth heart, there's gonna be many of you that are being called, and mom and dad have been calling you for some time, and now they're gonna really push on you, because whatever it is, whatever role you have, they need you home, and they're gonna kick you in your butt and pull you from, they're gonna pull and push you both. So you have to make the move. And for many of you, what this means is you're gonna have to jump in some way. Now, of course, this is different for everyone depending on the contract, the experience, the lessons that you're going through. But yeah, I'm seeing a lot of jumps, when you're like in front of a portal and you're kind of, it's happened to everyone, I'm sure. You're kind of like uncertain if you want to go through or not. Maybe it's like one of your first times or whatever. It might feel this way, or it might be that you've gathered in the strength and that you have to jump, so you're just gonna jump and you're gonna fly through it. It's whatever way you do, it's okay. It's just go through it. So I'm very excited about this activation. I'm seeing also in many beings, the seed wants to come out, but it can't in this sense because it's still blocked. So if you're one of those beings, it's probably gonna be like a lot of pressure. Like it's gonna be like the pressure is going to be building up and building up, and you probably are not going to know what's going on, or which way you're supposed to go, what you're supposed to do, until it opens up. Okay, so if it needs to explode for that to happen, well, then so it be. But if you can, just recognize it, go inside and see what it is that's blocking it, and then anchor in the courage to let it go, it's gonna open up a lot more smoothly. So I hope it's very smooth for everyone, but it's a roller coaster, and that's how we learn, that's how we grow. It's fun. You just have to, lift your hands up and trust in mom and dad. That's all you got. And to bring everyone home. And of course, in regards to that, there is a big push, for 144 to come home. I know that you're feeling it. I know that you are working on it. So I trust in you. And the call is going to continue until you get it. So I pray you just keep listening to it, you know. It doesn't matter, remember, at the end, it doesn't matter what you've been told, it doesn't matter what you've heard, it doesn't matter, you know, what you have learned. What matters is that you can find your center, whatever it is, whatever kind of experience, because sweetheart, mom and dad are gonna teach you in different ways, and they're gonna teach you depending on what it is that you need to go through. So don't take anything personally, because this is what you signed up for. This is what you are capable of doing and much more. So just trust yourself and trust the plan and trust the creation and the creators, and just flow with the experience. Oh yeah, another thing that that mentioned is that they are working on especially feminine communication. And this goes, of course, for the masculine as well. And I'll just give you a hint. You know how annoying the feminine can sometimes be. You know, that's what they're working on. Of course, it goes for both men and women. So just feel into it. Um, that's all I feel for today. I wish you a lot of growth with this new portal. It still has to open up more and more. So keep working on it. Keep working on feeling your both hearts, feeling your balance, feeling your center, and hopefully see you soon and meet you soon again. Love you. Bye. A little detail that I forgot to mention, and it's very important. That's why I forgot it, of course. Anyhow, with the balance of your hearts, it's also balancing your two brain. And so that means, it's gonna be a lot easier to be in the now moment, or, having not be thinking about anything basically. And it's also gonna be easier to do self-reflection, because what I've been observing for years now is, many times people, when they go inside, they don't go deep enough, because when you're making the inner journey, you're traveling. So there's many things that you can find or encounter, and if your intention is not focused enough and you're feeling centered enough, it's very easy sometimes to kind of misguide you. So in a sense, like, you're searching for something, but you find something that's part of illusion and you take it as truth. You have to go all the way through. And it's gonna be easier to self-reflect, because as mentioned, as part of only being in kind of predominantly your masculine or your feminine, or not predominantly, but depending on the moment that you're in, the perspective that you're looking from, in a sense. So this is balancing out, and this way it's gonna be easier for everyone to see the story from many different sides, which means also seeing yourself from many different sides. And that means going deeper in your self-reflection, finding the answers that before you were maybe completely blind to. And it's okay, you just have to accept it and move on with it. So yeah, a lot of balancing of the brain and of the hearts, and yeah, don't be a sorry, I got the message, it distracted me. Yeah, be in your heart, don't be a bitch, because that's what it's gonna try to do. If you're not accepting the both sides, it's kind of like, it's gonna try to mislead you, it's gonna try to misguide you, it's gonna try to only give you one perspective and tell that's the only truth, in a sense. So always be open to expand your awareness and It's simply done by listening and seeing with your hearts, with the balance of your soul. No thoughts, no illusions. Just feel through to the purity of it. Love you.